What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. Today on this video we'll be doing this previous question paper that you see here. So this is a national certificate mathematics N4, and this paper was written on the 29th July 2024 and it was an X paper. So this paper took about 3 hours and it was written at 9 till 12 o'clock. So I'm going to focus on question 2 of this question paper, because I've already made question 1 of this question paper. Just in case you want to watch that question, go to the description and you will see that link that will lead you to the whole entire of question 1. And also there will be an icon that will pop up on your top right. Click on that icon so that you can able to watch question 1. So I'm also gonna create some timestamps for a specific question, and then you just click on that timestamp. But anyway, before I waste any time, I just like to say thank you very much guys for watching, subscribing to the channel, commenting, and not forgetting to like and share the videos. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe to the channel guys, because I've made lots and lots of videos focusing on mathematics and previous question papers as well. Alright guys, let's look at question 2 and let's see what this question 2 is for us. So this is question 2. As you can see, question 2, it has complex numbers and determinants. So let's look at the entire question 2. It has 2.1, which they want us to simplify the following question, which are under 2.1, with 3 of them, and which is determinant, and 2.3, which is also determinant. So we're going to start with 2.1, where they want us to simplify the following. So we're gonna copy 2.1.1, which is this one here, and paste it somewhere and try to simplify this problem here. So let's go and do this one somewhere else. Alright, as you can see guys, this is 2.1.1. Now they want us to take this and express it in a polar form. As you can see, this is a complex number in a rectangular form. I've already done problems on the rectangular form for complex numbers, so you can go to the videos and watch more about those rectangular form. But when it comes to polar, I haven't done any videos, so I'm about to do those videos later on. Now let's look at this here. We have this complex number to the power of 4. Now when it's like this guys, you need to change this first into polar form, then you apply the de Moivre theorem. So in order for you to do this, you must first find the modulus and also the argument. Then you change it into polar form, then that's when you're going to apply the de Moivre theorem. Now here's what I mean. So let's first find the modulus. Modulus is same as when you are finding the radius. We know that the real number represents x and then the imaginary number represents y. So when you find the radius, remember you square root and then you say x squared. In this case it's going to be 3 squared plus y squared. In this case it's going to be negative 2 squared. So when you put this on your calculator, this is going to give you the square root of 13. Right, now you have managed to find your modulus. So in order for you to find the argument, you need to use tan theta. And then you know that tan is equal to y over x. Remember your y is negative 2 and your x is 3. So all you have to do is say theta. In this case, this theta is actually argument. And then you say arc tan. And then what is our y? Our y is negative 2. And then our x is 3. So when you put this on a calculator, your argument is going to give you negative 33,69 degrees. So this is your argument. Now to write this in a polar form, this is how you write it. You write the modulus, which is root 13, and then the angle, which is negative 3,69 degrees. But do not forget guys, this is the same as what we have inside here. So don't forget that this is the power of 4. So don't forget the power of 4 here. So if you make it the power of 4, now we can able to apply the de Moivre theorem. So let's do it here. So with the de Morville theorem, the modulus, it is going to be the power of 4, and the argument is going to be multiplied by the 4. So that's how the de Morville theorem works. So we're gonna do this following. We're gonna say root 13 to the power of 4, this 4 here, and then when it comes to the angle, it's gonna be 4 multiplied by negative 33.69 degrees. Now when you put this on a calculator, you will have 169, and then you will have the angle of negative 134.76 degrees. Basically, this is how you do this one, guys. Remember, they say you must leave this in a polar form. So in a polar form, you have the modulus and you have the argument, which is the real number, and this is the angle. So this is how you do this one, guys. If it so happens that you didn't understand, you can go back to the point where you got lost, rewatch the video, and also you can ask on the comment section. I'll try to explain to my level best. Again, guys, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to share the video. Now that we are done simplifying 2.1.1, how about we do 2.1.2? So this 2.1.2, they want us to simplify this and express it in a rectangular form. Unlike the other question that we just did before, they wanted us to express it in a polar form. So what's so nice about this one, this expression on its own, it's already in a rectangular form. So first of all, we just need to multiply, divide, and simplify this to the simplest form. So let's continue. So let's look at the numerator of this expression here. If we say 2 multiplied by negative 4, this is going to give us negative 8, right? And then we say 2 multiplied by positive 2j. In this case, j is used as imaginary, so don't be confused why it is not I. So what is 2 multiplied by positive 2j? This is going to give us plus 4j's. And then we say j multiplied by negative 4. This is going to be negative 4j. And then we go and say j multiplied by 2j. This is going to give us plus 2j squared. Right. And then we divide there with our denominator. So our denominator is going to be 3 minus 2j. It doesn't change at the moment. So what we do here, we look for like terms. So we have plus 4j and we have minus 4j. So this, they're going to cancel each other. You left 0. Then we write this negative 8 plus 2. So do not forget, guys, I did make a video explaining that when you have I squared or j squared in this case, is the same as negative 1. I've made a video explaining this. I will leave the video that explains this further. You can go to the description, or you can click on the icon that will pop up on the top right there to understand this concept way much better. Alright, so meaning wherever there is j squared, we're going to substitute with negative 1. So let's do it. So we're going to say negative 1. There we go. And then we divide here by our denominator, so which is going to be 3 minus 2j. Now if we continue here, this becomes negative 8 minus 2, because this 2 is going to be multiplied by this negative 1, so this is going to be negative 10. Divide by our denominator, which is going to be 3 minus 2j. Now when it's like this, we need to multiply by the conjugate of our denominator, guys. So the conjugate of the denominator, we just change the sign of the imaginary number. So it's gonna be 3 plus 2j divided by another 3 plus 2j. Remember, this conjugate, when they divide, they give you 1, but they are the conjugate of the denominator. So make sure that you remember this. You only change the sign of the imaginary numbers, guys. Right. Now let's do the multiplication. Let's look at the numerator. We're going to say negative 10 multiplied by 3. That's going to be negative 30. and then we say negative 10 multiplied by 2, that is going to be negative 20j, and then we divide there underneath, and then we say 3 multiplied by 3, that is going to give us 9. 3 multiplied by positive 2j, that is going to give us plus 6j, and then we say negative 2j multiplied by 3, that's going to give us negative 6j, and then we say negative 2j multiplied by 2j, that is going to give us negative 4j squared. There we go. So from here, the numerator, there is nothing we can do there. We just leave it like that. So we're just going to write negative 30 minus 20j, right? Divide by. Now let's look at the denominator. We have 9. There is nothing we can do with that 9. It's just 9. And then we also have the like terms. We have positive 6j, negative 6j. They're going to cancel each other. They're going to give you 0. But at the same time, we have minus 4j squared. But remember, j squared is the same as negative 1. So wherever there is j squared, we put negative 1 there. And then as we continue, this becomes negative 30 minus 20j. Divide by. Let's look at these numbers here. Now, this becomes 9 minus 4 multiplied by negative 1. So this becomes plus 4. So this is going to be 9 plus 4. This is going to be divided by 13. So your final answer is going to be negative 30 divided by 13 minus 20j divided by 30. I think this is the best way of leaving the answer here, guys. If it so happen that you don't remember this, I already made videos on rectangular form, when they multiply, when they divide, and also when they add. I will leave the playlist where I've done a lot of those questions, just in case for you to learn and to understand this. But if you get lost somewhere here, you can leave a comment, ask a question. I'll try to answer you to my level best. Or you can just rewatch the video until you understand wherever you got lost. Guys, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to like the videos, and also don't forget to share the videos to your friends. Now that we are done with 2.1.2, how about we do 2.1.3? Alright guys, so let's look at 2.1.3. So this is 2.1.3. Again, on this one, guys, they want us to simplify this and leave it into that expression here, which is the polar form. So let me copy this question and then paste it somewhere with a space so that we can be able to solve it. So let's do that. So let's do it, guys. Let's do it. So here, guys, we are supposed to simplify this expression that you see here. So this expression, as you can see, it is required for us to leave it in a rectangular form. This is still a rectangular form, guys. Another way of saying this is a rectangular form. Already this is given in a rectangular form. But this time around, the j's, they have the powers. So don't be confused by these powers. It's really not that difficult. I'll show you how to do this. In fact, I already made a video explaining this. So you can go to the description link and you will see the videos that I saw with J's with or I's with higher powers. But basically what you need to do here is you rewrite this 3 and then put a J with squared there inside the bracket, and then you divide this 6 here with this 2. The answer that you get is going to be 3, then you write it outside, so that when you say 2 multiplied by 3, you're going to get a 6 there. And then you say minus. Do the same thing here. You also make sure that you have j squared inside the bracket, and then this squared, this 2, you divide 16 by 2, you will have 8 of them. And then you divide them. And then you have 1 minus 2j. Now, the reason why we say j to the power of 2, I repeat again, j to the power of 2 is the same as negative 1. I made a video on this. You can go and watch it on the video section. Alright, so we can say 3, wherever there is j squared, we put negative 1 to the power of 3. Minus j squared, we put negative 1 to the power of 8. Divide by 1 minus 2j. Right, so this one is fine if the power of 1, So we can say negative 1 to the power of 3, that is going to be negative 1 multiplied by 3, that's going to be negative 3. And then we say negative, and so we say negative 1 to the power of 8, that is going to give us 1 multiplied by negative, that is going to be 1 divided by the same as 1 minus 2j. Now if you continue here, let me just continue this side. This is going to give us on the numerator negative 4 over 1 minus 2j. Again, when it's like this, we multiply by the conjugate, which is going to be 1 plus 2j. Remember, the conjugate, you only change the sign of the imaginary numbers. And this also is going to give you 1 plus 2j divided by 1 plus 2j. This is the same as 1. But at the same time, these are conjugates of the denominator. Right, so let's continue. So if you say negative 4 multiplied by 1 is going to be negative 4 multiplied by 2j, this is going to be negative 8j. And then you divide it there. Now underneath, you say 1 multiplied by 1, you get 1. 1 multiplied by 2j, you get 2j. And then you say negative 2j multiplied by 1, you get negative 2j. And then you say negative 2j multiplied by positive 2j, you're going to get positive 4j squared. Right, so obviously on the numerator, there's nothing you can do at the moment. So you write your negative 4 minus 8j divided by 1. Now let's look at our right terms here. We have positive 2j and negative 2j because they cancel each other. And then you're going to be left with actually, I made a mistake here, guys. It was supposed to be minus, not plus. Hope you managed to see that. It's supposed to be minus 4j squared. Minus 4. Right, remember, j squared is equal to negative 1. Right, so if we continue, let me continue this side. If you continue this side, let's put the numerator. There's nothing we can do there. 4 minus 8j divided by, let's look at the denominator. We have 1 minus 4 multiplied by negative 1, that is going to be positive 4 plus 1, that's going to be 5. So the final answer is negative 4 over 5 minus 8j over 1. So you can leave your answer like this, guys. So make sure that you don't make no mistake here. As I've made a mistake here, I've said this is positive 4j squared, it's supposed to be negative. But I hope you managed to see that one. Other than that, there's no any other mistake. This is a repetition. The only thing they were testing here, they wanted to see if you can able to simplify this so that you can get something like this here. And then you continue dividing and multiplying by the conjugate. Guys, if it so happen that you didn't understand this question, you can rewatch the question wherever you got lost, or you can ask by leaving a comment in the comment section. And I'll try to answer it to my level best. But if you did understand, don't forget to like, don't forget to share, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed. Alright guys, it's time for me to do the other question, which is going to be 2.2. We are done with 2.1, guys. I hope you understood. So let's go and do 2.2. Right, and now it's time for us to do 2.2. Now 2.2, guys, this is the question here. I hope you were able to see it. It's a bit long, so let me just copy this question and then let me paste it somewhere where we can able to analyze it and to solve it. All right, guys, so let's analyze this question. Let's try to figure out what is it exactly that they want us to solve here. Now with 2.2, you are given the following expression. You have 2x plus 3y is equaling to 4, and you have 4x minus 2y is equaling to 12. And then they say determine the values of x and y using Cramer's rule. So this is actually determinant and it's actually simultaneous equation, but now we need to find x and y using the Cramer's rule. Now you need to know certain things about determinant. First of all, lucky enough, this is the second order of determinant. because we have two equations here. So what you should do is you must rewrite this in a format that will be able to solve using determinants. So let's look at the first equation here. We have 2x plus 3y is equaling to 4. So you can first write the coefficient of x, which is 2, and then you write the coefficient of y, which is 3 on the first equation. And in the second equation, this one here, we have 4x minus 2y is equaling to 12. So you also here gonna write the coefficient of x, which is 4, and the coefficient of y, which is negative 2. Here it is here, guys. Right, from here you write them in this notation where you can able to use determinants to calculate the x and y. So we have the column, which is this side here, these ones here, and we have the rows, which are these ones here. So obviously this is the first column, this is the second column, this is the first row, and that is the second row. I hope you guys can able to understand that. So we must put them in the way of a column and a row. So it means that the first column represents x, and then the second column represents y, because these are the coefficient of x for both the equation. This 2 here is that one here, and then this 4 here is this one here. I hope you guys can able to understand that one. Right, so let's continue. In order for us to find the determinant, the formula for determinant is very simple, guys. It's equaling to the first term, which is gonna be 2, multiplied by the last term, which is gonna be negative 2. So this 2 here and that negative 2, they multiply each other, minus the second term on the second column multiplied by the first term on the first row, which is 4. That is like that. So it's always minus like that. So the determinant here, when you do this, this is gonna give you negative 4, and that is gonna give you negative 12. So all in all, this is gonna give you negative 16. So this is your determinant. But this doesn't mean that you are finished. You need to continue and find the determinants for x and the determinant for y. So let's find the determinant for x. So in order for you to find the determinant for x, now there's something that you need to do. The very same notation that you see that we've done it here, you need to redo it. But this time around, since we are trying to find dx, right, on the x column, this one here, on the x column, we're gonna put the answers, meaning we're gonna put these ones here, 4 and 12, because we're looking for dx. Right, so let's do it. All right, so this 4 is for the first equation, so we put it here on the x column, and then this 12 we're gonna put here on the same column but on a different row, which is the second row. Now we continue, we rewrite the y values as they are, the negative 2 and 3, the way as they are. As you can see, this column here, nothing changes, still the same. If you can pay attention here, it's still the same. All right, now I'm trying to explain this the best that I can. So you continue, you do the same thing that we did here. You multiply the first term here with the last term here. All right, so let's do it. So let's multiply 4 multiplied by negative 2. Then you say minus, and then you're gonna multiply by this term with that term there. So let's do it. It's gonna be 12 multiplied by 3. All right, so you continue here, you get your answer. So this is gonna be negative 8, and that is gonna be negative 36. There we go. When you combine these two, they're gonna give you negative 44. Right, so as you can see, this here, guys, it's your determinant for x. So you need to find the x value. So how do you find the x value after you find your determinant for x? So it's pretty simple. What you do is x is gonna be equal to the determinant of x divided by the determinant. So meaning now this negative 44 is going to be divided by this negative 16. Now when we continue, this is going to give us 11 over 4 because this is negative and negative. So meaning x is equal to 11 over 4. Now it's time for us to find the dy. So when you find the dy, you do similar what you did with the dx, but this time around you continue. Remember, this represents the x coefficient. You bring them back because this time around we are no longer solving for x, so they must come back. So it's going to be 2 and it's going to be 4 there. But wherever there is y, this one here, we substitute with the answers here, the 4 and the 12 here. So let's go and do that. So it's going to be 4 and this is going to be 12. There we go. And then we do the multiplication now. Remember, when we calculate the determinant, the formula goes the first term here multiplied by the last term. Remember, it's cross actually multiplication. So it's going to be 2. Let's go back. It's going to be 2 multiplied by 12 minus. Now this one here, 4 multiplied by 4, which is going to give us 4 multiplied by 4. And then this one here is going to give us 24, and that one is going to give us minus 16. So what is 24 minus 16? This is going to give us 8. Now when we find y, this is going to be dy over d. So what is our dy? We just calculated it. It's 8 divided by d. So our d is negative 16. So negative 16, and then this is going to give us negative half. So in order for us to check whether our answer is correct, because we already find x and we already find y, so let's check whether our answer is correct. You can take the first one or the last one. I'd rather take the first one here. So when you say 2, wherever there's x, you substitute by 11 over 4 plus the 3, wherever there is y, you substitute by negative half. Right, and then when you put this on the calculator, this is gonna give you 4. So this here, this formula that you see here, it's actually this one here on top there. I just substituted x and y, and it gave us this 4. I hope you guys managed to understand. This step here is not necessary. I was just checking whether I did the right thing, but it's very, very simple. It's not really that difficult. I hope you managed to understand. If you so happen that you didn't understand, you can leave a comment on the comment section, and also you can rewatch the point you didn't understand. If it happens that you understood, don't forget to like the video, share the video, and also don't forget to subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Guys, I'm about to do the last question, which is 2.3. So if you are finding these videos to be useful, I would appreciate it if you subscribe and also share the videos. Alright guys, so let's go and do 2.3. Alright guys, let's look at this question here, 2.3. As you can see, this 2.3 here, they want us to determine the value of expanding along the first column. As you can see, it has this thing here. This means that the question is a bit challenging, but I don't think so, as long as you know what you're doing. So I will copy this question and I will paste it where there's space, and then we'll be able to solve this question. Alright guys, this is your 2.3. Let's look at this 2.3 guys. As you can see, they say determine the values of expanding along the first column. So the first column is this one here, and that is the second column. This is the third column, right? Basically what they are saying here is use the values on the first column as minus. So meaning our first column is going to be the column that we will be focusing on. We're going to use these values as the minor when it comes to determining the determinant. So when we calculate the determinant on the third order, by the way, this is a third order, we need to know as well about the cofactor. I hope you know about the cofactor. So the cofactor is It means that the first one here on our notation is going to be positive, this 2 here, and then we have negative, and we have positive, and then we have negative, positive, and negative, and then we have positive, and we have negative, and we have positive. If you can look at this, guys, this is alternating, guys. So do not forget that it's positive, negative, positive, and negative, positive, negative, and so on and so on. So if you can able to understand that the first one is going to be positive, then you just alternate the signs on the next one. All right, so let's continue. So when you calculate the determinant, they did explain that you must use the first column. It means now we must take these 2 as a minor. So if we take these 2 as a minor, we scratch the column and the row at which this 2 is part of. So we're gonna scratch this here. There we go. So meaning now we're gonna focus on this one here. Meaning if the minor is 2 like that, remember this 2 is also gonna be positive because of the cofactor here is positive. Do not forget that, guys. And then you open bracket there. So when you calculate the determinant, do not forget, guys, that's what we do. We say this negative multiplied by that negative 5. So negative 1 multiplied by negative 5 is going to be negative 1 multiplied by negative 5. Right. Then minus, that is the formula. Then it's going to be negative 3 multiplied by negative 2. Do not forget that. It's going to be negative 3 multiplied by negative 2. Now we are done with this one here. We are done with this one. Now it's time for us to move to the next one. Let's try to move this one. Let's move it. It's going to be 5 now. So this line, we moved it to minus 5 on the first column. Don't forget, we're focusing on the first column here, which is this one. So now this time around, this 5 is our minor. But let's look at this 5 here. This 5, the negative 5 here because of the cofactor. So don't forget. So here's what you're going to do. So you're going to say minus 5. This minus is from the cofactor, and the 5, they're in a very similar position. So you must not forget that. So and then you continue. Now when it's like that, this time around we focus on this and that, because these are not crossed out. Do not forget that, guys. So you can say 3 multiplied by negative 5, which is gonna be, you're gonna say 3 multiplied by negative 5, and then you say minus, and then you're gonna say as well negative 2 multiplied by 4. Remember, they cross multiply these things, so it's gonna be negative 2 multiplied by 4. Then we are finished with this minor of 5. Now that we are finished, we move to the last one, which is the last one, which is gonna be 4 on that column. So let's move it. There we go. This time around, now we cross out a row and a column that has to do with this one. So you're only left with these. We're gonna calculate the determinants using these values here. Okay, let's continue. So let's look at the factor here. So the cofactor here is gonna be positive because it goes hand in hand with us minus 4 there. All right, so let's continue. It's gonna be minus. Remember, this is minus, so plus and minus, we're gonna give you minus. So even if you write minus, this is gonna be fine. All right, so let's do it. Right, so here we're gonna say this 3 multiplied by negative 3. So this must give us 3 multiplied by negative 3, then minus, and then this time around we're gonna say 4 multiplied by negative 1. Then it's gonna be as follow 4 multiplied by negative 1. There we go. And then from here you start using your calculator. So let's do it. So our determinants here, if you put all this on the calculator, it should give you negative 2. Now if you put this one on the calculator, it should give you positive 35. And then if you put this one here on the calculator, that's going to be positive 20. Right, so when you find the determinant here, so your answer here is gonna be 53. So this was not difficult, it was just a bit tricky if you didn't understand what was happening here. But basically, this is how you calculate this question here. I hope you were not confused, because it can be confusing sometimes. But if it so happens that you're confused, do not forget to go back to the point where you got confused. And you can also ask a question in the comment, and I'll try to answer you to my level best. Guys, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to like as well, and don't forget to share the videos to your friends. Alright guys, this is the end of question 2. I hope you understood. If you want to watch question 1, there will be a playlist at the end of this video with all the questions in order. So you can click on that playlist and watch those questions. Thank you very much guys for watching. Until next time, cheers.